A couple stories I could tell that I still can't explain what saved our lives. The last couple of days up at what's called the Anchorage area, and that was north of Nispillion Inlet. And it was a day that was real balmy, and I don't remember what month it was, but it must have been something like June, or the end of June, maybe July, but usually June was a good trout fishing day, sea trout. We hung around the first buoy because I didn't want to start running up north with the boat, not being able to see any other boats and run into them. And we hung around there and fished while it was right around 11:30, the fog really started to lift. Oh, good. So we started heading north. Now, I had a 16-foot aluminum boat. It wasn't that big, but we weren't over our weight limit. And we started heading north. And around 12 o'clock, everybody was saying, I'm getting hungry. I said, okay, we'll stop, get some sandwiches out and eat down before we get up there. And at the meantime, I turned the CB on because when I was running with the motor, it's too loud, you can hardly hear it. And I had it turned off. Well, I turned the CB on, and all I could hear was other boaters hollering and screaming about a storm. And the sky was clear. You couldn't see a storm anywhere. And I called back to one of them. I said, what are you talking about? What storm? And they said the Coast Guard is issuing a warning that everybody get off the Delaware Bay if you don't want swamped. There's a storm coming from Wilmington down the bay at 40 miles an hour. The storm is traveling. And the chills went up and down in my body because we were pretty far out by that time. So I turned around and I went the same amount of time south as I did north. But where I made my mistake was I didn't figure an outgoing tide, which took me beyond the inlet. And when I went in towards shore, I couldn't really recognize where it was at. So I wasn't sure I had to go further north or south to get to Nispillion Inlet. So there was a guy coming down through, and I flagged him down. I said, do you know where Nispillion Inlet is? He said, yeah. He said, back north here a little bit further, about a mile, half a mile or so it was. I said, oh, okay. I just went past it then. And I turned around, and about that time, I saw the storm. It was windy. The wind had unbelievable, and it was kicking up water that it looked like it was torrentially raining, but it wasn't raining. It was picking water up off of the bay. And then I saw the waves, and it said, well, I had everybody put their life jackets on before that. I said, everybody sit on the bottom floor of the boat. You get the weight down as low as possible. And my wife said, take your shoes off. I said, I can't, I gotta hang on to the steering wheel. So she took my shoes off because if you're thrown over and you have shoes on, it tends to weight you down more. And she took my shoes off, and the next wave I come up on, and I could look way down there to the next swell, and I went down, hit the bottom of that and went underneath that next wave and come clean out over top of our heads. John looked at Martha and said, kiss me for the last time, would you please? We went up on, and I had to slow it down to an idle just so I could keep it, the nose into the waves. Otherwise it would have turned it sideways and we'd have been flipped over just like that. Coming to the next one, it came out over top. And it kept on that way for about a half an hour, I believe, or maybe not quite that much. It seemed like a long period of time. And one time, the boat came up so hard, so fast in the front, it caught in my mouth. Busted my lip open, and I was bleeding at the mouth, and didn't break any of my teeth, though, thankfully. But after a while, I could see the inlet. I thought, now how in the world am I going to get in there? Because I'm going to have to turn crossways in a wave, and it's going to roll me over. So I kept on going fairly slow, and I didn't get the right wave. What I wanted to do was bank it on the next wave I get down in the swell and then bank it. Sure enough, there was a nice one. And I got down and I turned to the left and opened the throttle wide up, and it just like that into the inlet. And it was calm, nice and calm in the inlet. We made it with the boat half full of water. There were 3 boats went down that day. I got the report. 3 boats were sank. I thought to myself, well, we're going down. But we got our life jackets on. They know we're out here because they're going to be looking for people. And I wasn't really worried. I thought, well, we're going to lose it. But we did make it. We made it through. We made it through.